I've done in a while. I need to get this out so people know. So I'll be right back. And one more. Well, two, but who's counting? Okay, so here I am. Nobody's here yet, but yeah, now somebody just walked in. Okay, so Cameron and Sparrow came up with a way for Sparrow to actually interact with the Patreon audience and Cameron's subscribers on Patreon, and through a question and answer thing, and it was pretty interesting. Theirs, their observations at what's really going on at Lucasfilm. What I got out of it is Kennedy's done. She's gone. She's history. She's not anything anymore. What else did I get out of it? That she mismanaged Lucasfilm so badly in financing that they've had to go outside of Disney to get investors for Starfighter. There's the big tree, see it? Yeah, pretty cool, huh? And there's the stairs. Let's see what else. That she's lazy, incompetent, probably never read a script. She gave it to her underlings to read. And she was enamored of big set pieces that made money, and her agenda, which is the Force is female. Okay, no, it's not. It's the Force. The Force is the Force. It's neither male nor female. Ugh. You know, that she doesn't know a lot about sci-fi in general. And, I mean, if you look at her hires, though, Leslie Headland, I mean, she had to have been aware of what Headland said about George, either before or after she said it, just because. And really, if Kathy's going out of her way to hire somebody like that, then you know damn sure, right, that Kathy didn't care. If she said shitty things about George Lucas, I would have cared. I would not have hired her, but that's just me. And they're moving away from the sequel trilogy. I mean, basically, my question is to Sparrow, do you get the feeling that they're moving away from the sequel trilogy? And they said the sequel trilogy is a black hole that just sucked money in. It didn't generate any income. So yeah. And then what else did I ask? It's in the video from earlier yesterday. When I think about it, when it's on the tip of my tongue and I can't say it, typical. But a lot of people were asking, you know, how are they going to use the OG characters? And they said very carefully, sparingly, because if it's a big moment, Han, Luke, and Leia should be part of it. And I agree with somebody else and what they said in this. That's fine, and I understand, and I do understand. However, they should at least, I think, do maybe one season of a cartoon, and do Han, Luke, and Leia, and keep it canon between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back. Or you could do like a one-off live afterwards. But, you know, people want to see them. They didn't, I mean, the initial reason why people were so disappointed with The Force Awakens and the reactions to it after they saw it were we didn't get what we wanted. That was a bait and switch. And it was a bait and switch. And it was a reboot instead of continuing the story. You can try to rationalize it till you're blue in the face, but it's a reboot. Pure and simple, the sequel trilogy was an asinine reboot with poorly written characters, with no reason for it to exist. Disjointed, didn't make sense within the context of its own universe. It's like, what? Anyway, so there's that. There were a lot of other questions, so if you want to go to Patreon and get a subscription to Cameron's general page, it's $5. I think it's still $5 a month. Price of a cup of coffee. So, and it's worth it. I mean, you get the people there are pretty down to earth and intellectual. They're not stupid. And you're not going to get the usual clickbait crap that you get here on YouTube. Anyway, so this goes into my other video from yesterday, the Kyle Ron attached Vader comic book. Kyle Ron trying to put Vader's helmet on. I won't read it. I don't care what it's about. Seeing Adam Driver's face is pretty much not acceptable, because now I'm gonna have nightmares just thinking about it. It was written by Charles Soule, who was the lead writer for Project Luminous, aka the High Republic, and it just looks absolutely asinine. But here's the deal. It appears that the Star Wars comics are shutting down in the next few months, right? So I don't know where this leads Star Wars publishing in general. Look, the problems that Lucasfilm had with the fans was not just how bad the movies were. It was the way people that work for Lucasfilm treated the fans. We have Rian Johnson calling fans who are upset about what he did to Luke man babies. People noticing, quite frankly, that Mark Hamill is a completely different person than he used to be, because I think from The Last Jedi. And no amount of J.J. Abrams tried to fix what was broken can fix the fact that the sequel trilogy is a mess. And when people went after them, complained about it, it wasn't J.J. Abrams that got upset. It was mostly people in publishing, Pablo Hidalgo, Phil Sostek, Pablo's wife, Matt Martin, a bunch of them. And when you're online, and this is back when Disney actually took the internet seriously, thank God they don't anymore, they got vicious. I mean, look, we all have receipts. We all saw what they said. We all saw what they did. And the fact that they're rolling back publishing at Lucasfilm, in my opinion, says that there's probably going to be a regime change in that, and that they're going to reformat it. The one thing Sparrow said is that John and Dave, hey Kyle, John and Dave are trying to rebuild from what they're trying to rebuild Lucasfilm, and it's going to be hard, and for people to want to go back and see it, and they know they have to win the audience back. And in my opinion, they can't win the audience back if the same people are still there. And I mean, the usual suspects. Now, that being said, Lucasfilm has reached out to Star Wars Theory, which I think is a good one because he's a good ambassador for the franchise. It looks like Jason Ward has quit. His, I think, at least YouTube channel is dead. I mean, if somebody can look that up and either put a comment in the chat here or put a comment on this video at the end, I'd be fine. I don't know. I haven't kept up with the idiot. I think Star Wars Explained is still going strong. I think they're very happy to go with whatever Lucasfilm chooses to do, chooses to whichever way Lucasfilm chooses to go. But in my opinion, I think that at least Molly will go away just because she's not getting what she wants, right? Which is Rey everywhere, even though Rey can't sell them. They're not, it's pretty obvious now without Favreau or Filoni or Bob Iger or Josh D'Amaro or whomever. It's pretty difficult for me to contemplate them wasting time to say we're not making it. The Dead Kyle Ron movie, The Hunt for Ben Solo, is pretty much that. And, there you go. As Kyle said, a lot of this is Marvel. A lot of the comic books are Marvel's fault. If the writer for the Afra series had pitched me Afra, I would have kicked him out of my office. You get that shit out of my face. What I hope is a storyline, and this is just purely for my evil little whatever, that they do a story where she gets somebody to try to kill Leia and the twins, not baby Kyle Ron, and Han discovers after catching the guy who told Spice Head, does away with the Spice Head after he finds out who it was who did it, and then goes on a mission to find her. And you could have him talking to Boba Fett. I'd love to see a conversation between him and Cad Bane. I think that'd be cool, right? So more of an adult themed thing, but that's what I think Disney's aiming at right now anyway. And who says animation has to be for kids only, because it used to not be that way. Ever, in fact. The Betty Boop cartoons were not for kids. They weren't, and neither were the Warner Brothers shorts. I mean, man, there's some old ones. In fact, there's one where the animators actually did an animated short of all the leading actors at Warner Brothers. And Cary Grant was very interesting. You all know the rumors about him? Well, let's put it this way. This was like 1943? And I was like, yeah, well, when did To Have and Have Not come out? And The Big Sleep? After the war. Probably after the war because, no, because Laura McCall isn't in this one. Greta Garbo is, and some other actresses. But it's pretty much like, wow. I'm not kidding you. You have to see, if I can find it, I'll link it somewhere so you guys can watch it, because it's like, and that's not for kids. When I was a kid and I saw it, I was like, okay, what's that about? Right? Okay, so, but yeah, they're not going to be doing a lot of the, not going to be doing publishing anymore. So where does that, or they're changing it and they're streamlining it. So where does that leave a lot of the people that used to cause so much trouble? I want you to think about that. Because I think it leaves them in a bad spot. I think once Kennedy's gone and changes are announced, it's going to be very interesting as they go. Who stays and who goes. so we've got that. And then one of my subs here sent me a notice from, that's Kojak, sent a notice and for casting for next year's Seasons of the Force in May for a Luke Skywalker for the big parks in Orlando and in Anaheim and Han Solo. I put it at the end of one of my videos. I might just do a comment, put a comment thing up with it for you guys to see it, because it's like, oh really? And he told me, this friend, this sub, told me that they're moving away from the sequel trilogy. We've already got the Millennium Falcon ride being changed. And it's gonna be like way better. There's a ride, I think it's the Star Wars ride at Hollywood, that part of the park called Hollywood Studios or whatever, and they're changing that too. Don't be surprised if we hear that they're changing Rise of the Resistance, because really, you just change, reskin it to show something else. So, it's going to be interesting going forward. I'm kind of looking forward to see what they do with these two cast members, right? To see if they get somebody better that plays Luke and somebody that at least kind of looks like Han Solo. The request was a guy that was between 6'2" and 5'11", and for Luke Skywalker, 5'7", and no 5'6" and 5'9". So there you go, because that's basically them, right? It's gonna be really cool. What else is going on? This is only part one of the question and answer thing on Cameron's Patreon, and Sparrow will come back and say more, right? So we're going to get more stuff from him. I wanted to ask what is going to happen with publishing, and I should have asked them, and I didn't, and that was stupid. I didn't think of that in the right way. So I'm kind of lost there. But look, this is going to be short because I had to go check in on my horse, come back and change because we're going out. And there you go. So I will see you guys around the galaxy. Behave, be safe. If something big happens, I'll be back later tonight and either do an upload or a live. So this is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy.